takes to put on a race from Commissioner Don Jones on the Performance Corner, brought to you by NGK Spark Plugs, source for serious power. Don?
Well, Jim, we have 14 staff members that travel with us throughout the United States. We have our chief referee on the start tower. We have our timing and scoring people as well. 2 turn judges that operate in the turns, our 2 helicopter judges, along with our chief of safety and technical, our pit traffic boss, and our rescue team's 2 paramedics, the chief medical officer, as well as our chief diver. This assures top performance in our racing each weekend.
And our thanks to Commissioner Don Jones, and along with those folks from the URC, hundreds of volunteers at each race site. We thank them. In Heat 2A, the Miss Budweiser, Tom Deeth driving. Also from the Miami area of Florida, Stephen David in the Pocket Savers Plus. Pietro's Pizza, driven by Southern California's Jack Schaefer Jr. From Seattle, Washington, Jerry Hopp aboard the Jackpot Food Marts. Out of Portsmouth, Virginia, Larry Lauterbach in the Vantage Ultra. Out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Johnny Prevost in the Miss Circus Circus.
As they come down for the start now, it's the Miss Budweiser in lane 1 on the inside. Vantage Ultra lane 2, Circus Circus lane 3, Pocket Savers in 4, and Jackpot Food Mart on the outside as they come down for the start of Heat 2A.
There's the gun and there is the start, and it's a good one. The Miss Budweiser trying to take the lead on the outside. Budweiser is driven by Tom Deeth. He's got himself a very wide course out there right now. The water, incidentally, looking excellent as they come into the turn. Tommy Deeth into Miss Budweiser in perfect control of that boat. He kicks the power onto it as he comes out of turn 2.
He's down the back chute now, and Tommy Deeth and the Miss Budweiser battling Scott Pierce and Mr. Pringles for the HFC High Point lead. And he's really making time now. He has things pretty much his own way, followed by the Vantage Ultra with Larry Lauterbach in second place. Back in third is the Circus Circus. Dick?
Well, Tom Deeth has got to know that the Vantage Ultra has the power in that boat. He was a little bit off and on the start, it appeared, but he's got the power to come up in there and make a race with this. Right now, Tom Deeth is having no problem at all controlling the Miss Budweiser. He's got himself in the lead position, second place boat. This boat right here, Steve Woomers, the Vantage Ultra. Larry Lauterbach driving it. Now, this is a boat that we saw run earlier in the circuit as competition specialties. It is a good running boat with lots of power. He is now in second to the Miss Budweiser.
The first 5 races saw 5 different boats win. However, Chip Hanauer did win 2 in a row as a driver, taking the victory at Detroit and his 7th consecutive Gold Cup in the Circus Circus boat in Evansville, Indiana. But Tommy Deeth would like to make it 2 straight for driver and boat in Miss Budweiser after their win a few weeks ago in Syracuse, New York.
And certainly the Miss Budweiser has earned a lot of the honors that are now coming to it because they have really had to fight to keep that boat on the water. It has been damaged several times. It was damaged here on Friday in the qualifying session, but they got it rebuilt and back in the water here today. There's the Circus Circus, and that's another boat that has had some damage done to it early on in the circuit, but they have done a fine job of keeping the boat in the race. They have not missed yet. Tommy Deeth in perfect control of the red and white Miss Budweiser, the boat owned by Bernie Little of Lakeland, Florida. Of course, we tell you Tommy Deeth is out of Fairhaven, Michigan. He's an experienced driver, a former Gold Cup winner. He would have liked to have duplicated that feat this year. It was not to be, but right now he has a win under his belt on the circuit already. He would like to make it 2 in a row if possible. Now, as Jim just told you, this boat, the Circus Circus, has already won. It won the Gold Cup, as a matter of fact, earlier in the season. But that was driven by then Chip Hanauer. Now the boat is driven by John Prevost in this race. He has not won a championship on the circuit yet, so he'd like to make it a championship run here today. But to do that, he'll have to beat this boat, the Miss Budweiser, right now out in front.
Over 100,000 have lined both banks of this Columbia River here in the Tri-City, Washington area of Pasco, Kennewick, and Richland. And Tommy Deeth, pretty much his own way as he comes down the back chute on the final lap, Dick.
And of course, this boat is home base not too far from the Pasco area, and that would be in Seattle, Washington, where they'll be racing very shortly. And that'll be a hometown appearance for a lot of these boats. Tommy Deeth coming around the final turn now, sees the checkered flag waving off of the judges' stand. So as he takes dead aim at the checkered Vantage Ultra has passed Circus Circus, Larry Lauterbach has moved the Vantage Ultra up into second place. There you see him coming home. Tommy Deeth is heading down for the checkered flag. Vantage Ultra will take second place. And you can hear the crowd in the background welcoming home Tommy Deeth in the Miss Budweiser, the winner of Heat 2A.
An average speed of 133.7 for Tommy Deef. As the crowd looks on, there's our second place boat doing a little cool down lap, Larry Lauterbach in the Vantage Ultra. Circus Circus, something must have gone wrong. Here is our fourth place boat, Pocket Savers Plus with Steve David. Steve from Florida will be a shoo-in for the Rookie of the Year honors come the banquet in February. Now let's take a look at the final results. Heat 2A, Miss Budweiser, Vantage Ultra, and Miss Circus placing 1, 2, 3. They have enough points to make the finals. Let's go to the pits now and Dick Crippen. Dick?
Well, Tommy, sounds like a bad dress rehearsal makes for a good performance.
Well, you never know. Chip's had these kind of things happen to him, you know, where his boat broke during the week and he went out and won the race. Maybe we can do that.
Well, I'll tell you, you put a little bit of pressure on the crew doing that, but everybody pulls together on this crew.
Oh, yeah, the Miss Budweiser crew is just totally united. It's a team effort. Every person on that crew just does one heck of a job. They're all specialists, and they're just great people.
Bernie, you're one of the most trained eyes on the shoreline here. A lot of the boats are getting light out there. This one's holding the water beautifully.
Yeah, it is, Dick. The crew put it down, Ronnie Brown and all of them. You know, they spent a few hours getting it where it ought to be and keeping him safe, and we're going to keep it on the water.
More action coming up from Tri-Cities, Washington, and the HFC American Hydroplane Series in just a moment.